Welcome to Cowes on the Isle of Wight for round 6 of the Pro V Offshore European Cup, the second of 2 races to be held in this historic powerboating town. Round 5 saw a frantic dice in the opening 2 laps with 5 boats swapping places all the time. But the punishing Solent water would take its toll. They left the start line like greyhounds out of a trap, and the pace was absolutely breathtaking. Simon Fletcher and new driver Kurt Arger Olsen blasted through the pack to challenge champions Chris Peters and Tony Dowley in number 1, but the Thunderbird team saw off the threat with some great driving, and the third place Ceramica Panaria dropped out with a broken propeller. The championship leaders were now battling over third with their teammate Spirit of Arundel, and when Thunderstorm and Thunderbird both dropped back in the punishing conditions, the win went to Bjorn Magnussen and Per Carsten Mikkelsen in number 82, their first victory of the season. The result changes the complexion of the Pro V Championship at a critical stage. The Spirit team leap into second position, dislodging Ceramica Panario, who fall back to 4th, now 3 points behind Thunderbird. Now, unbeknown to me, my motoring colleague Vicky Butler-Henderson had actually been persuaded to test drive the European champion Thunderbird, and I caught up with her down amongst the hardware with a definite glint in her eye. I hate to interrupt, but did you catch you up with your new friend? You didn't tell me you were going to come out and drive this boat. I saw you.
Oh, I know. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to make a fool of myself. I didn't want you to know.
But you did. You looked brilliant. I mean, was that a great sensation?
It was just amazing. I mean, you and I, we love speed, but to feel the speed in this boat, you know, when he sort of went, well, not quite full throttle, but we did about 80 miles an hour.
Not full throttle?
No, it was so choppy. It was just horrendous.
I've got a little secret to tell you.
What?
Well, I've driven Thunderstorm and Thunderbird.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, I was out with Mr. Dowley sitting beside me with that grin on his face.
Yeah.
And he ran out of fuel before he could get to full throttle. Oh, yeah.
So that means I'm much tougher than you are because I've survived.
No, I've driven them twice. But it's that steering that's funny to get used to. It's not connected directly to the rudder, and it's that sort of hydraulic steering's a bit weird, but it's a hell of a buzz. Oh,
it is absolutely amazing. But what really freaked me out was going around the corners, because he was saying to, you know, Tony was saying, turn, and I didn't have faith in it, so stupidly.
Do you want to race one?
No, no, do you?
No. On Team Talk this week, we take a look at the third new team to join Pro V this season, Hog V, with Tommy Stensrud and Glenn Ostby. Stensrud and Ostby are both based north of the Arundel race site in the town of Horton, just outside Oslo. Their boat has a very well-proven history, coming from the stable of Charles Burnett III, who drove it to World Championship honours in the old Class 2 formula. It's been a tough start to the year with mechanical failures in both Bergen and Arundel, as well as problems with their Butzy hull's flotation collar rupturing.
It's very frustrating, for sure. But I think the rubber is going, it's very old. It's too old, so it's going up in... the condition is not good. The engine is good, the axle is good, the steering is good, and everything is perfect. It's only the rubber, and it's very difficult to drive it when we just have the wrong side.
And the debate over whether or not this type of design is an advantage has yet to be settled. But what brought Stensrud into Pro V in the first place?
It's a lot of boats in Norway. It is, but it's a 2-liter boats, 3C and 3B. It's no more 4-liter boats and 6-liter boat. That's out. So we had a 6-liter boat last year, but we was alone.
Pro V has provided a real racing focus to teams that were languishing in a variety of classes with outdated rules and a lack of purpose for big monohulls. Round 5 in the waters of the Solent gave all the boats a real hammering, and the technicians have been hard at work repairing everything from broken seat mounts to complete steering systems. Hardly a boat has come through unscathed.
On our other engine with the other power steering pump, we had a steel union. When we changed the engine, the hydraulic pump on this one has got an aluminium union, and we found when we changed it yesterday it was a minute fracture. Obviously just unfortunate we didn't finish the race under full steam, but with no steering it was a little difficult. And I mean, we were running over 100 miles an hour out there yesterday. And I mean, obviously when you've got 3-ton of boat coming down out of the air at 100 miles an hour, you've only got to look at the attacking Vikings boat.
If you saw a crack like this down the front of your house, you'd know you've got big problems. Oscarson and Hoggervall found one on each side of the engine bay after the Solent race, and a specialist repair team has been working flat out to repair the damage. It shows just how hard they were pushing to beat the eventual winners, Spirit of Arundel. Per Carsten Mikkelsen is the throttle man of number 82, and there's no doubt it was one tough race.
It was hard, but we didn't have that problem with our boat because our boat handles that kind of weather very good, actually. It's not chine walking, it's going straight in the jump. So we took a lot of beating. I still feel that race, but it's the first race this season with a lot of beating. So you said what happened. Everybody was licking their wounds.
To race all the way around the island, there are some very different sea conditions, aren't there, from one side of the island to another?
Yes, I remember from my first year last year that there was some current that was giving me some surprises, and there were also some waves regarding to that. So there was a lot of different sea conditions all around the course, actually. So with a little more wind this year, this could be really interesting, I guess.
None of these boats are made on a production line. They're built to very individual specifications to challenge the teams to find the most efficient build, to use the weight where it matters most.
Simon, I can't help but noticing there that you have a fixed drive.
Yeah, essentially the reason I haven't got a trim on there is because, well, A, they're more expensive,
Right.
And B, if you fix them up solid, they're much more reliable. So there's nothing in there to go wrong because it's just a great big solid lump of metal.
What happens when you have to adjust it, and why do you need to adjust it?
The way the boat is set up is for full speed in the flat calm. So you just basically have a revolutions that you need to get on the engine.
Yeah.
And if it's too many revolutions, you lower the drive down so it gets more grip. And if it's not enough revolutions, you pull the propeller up.
Yeah.
So basically there's two great big bolts there which we undo. Put it on the crane, lift it up, undo the bolts, change the height by sort of 2 or 3 or 4 millimetres, do it up, put it back down, and take it out and run again.
Per, I understand that you've got an adjustable drive. What advantage does that give you over the non-adjustable drive boats out there?
Well, it gave me the advantage that I can adjust the height of the prop into the water. And since we're running a diesel with double turbos, it's very important for us to keep the RPMs up, to be able to use both turbos all times. So if I raise the propeller, I get more RPMs out. So when I'm coming into a turn, for example, I just raise up the prop and go into the turn and can get off a little bit of the throttle, but still running on both turbos.
How do you set your trim for, you know, whether it's calm water or rough water?
We get 2 flaps like this, one on each side.
Yep.
Okay. And these are stabilizing the boat when we are pushing them down. So it will come down under the bottom of the boat, and it would break up the boat and it would make it longer. And when you get into a turn, you need more bottom to turn on.
Yeah.
So you take down the internal one a little bit
Yeah.
and use that one as well in the turns to get high speed against the turns.
Yeah.
But then you get a bit quick to get them up again, so you're not losing speed with having them down.
Yeah.
And if you're hitting a wave or something like that, when you see it coming, you try to balance on it and push down the flaps
Okay.
to help the transom come up.
One of the 2 petrol-powered boats here, Cougar Eurocool, has really struggled this year. Is there any sign that things are on the up for Neil Holmes and Miles Jennings?
It was very frustrating first race. I mean, we finally thought after Norway, although we cooked an exhaust, that the boat was beginning to run well. It was in the zone. It was in the mid-90s. Not quite quick enough yet, but certainly beginning to feel as though, you know, we can make a presence. And just while doing a final test just before the race, when everything was absolutely fine, the electrics went down. We went through a wave. A lot of water on board, and the ignition box and the coil subsequently got wet, and we didn't have the parts an hour and a half before the start to make that change. We've just been out testing now, and we're not getting full power at the moment for some reason. We're running about 5,000 revs at about 75 miles an hour. It's just not there. The fuel pressure's a bit low, so we're just checking a few things at the moment. When the boat does run right, it is so much fun. You know, these boats, you know, the length, the power, the noise, the thrill that they create is unique, even in powerboating terms, and they are just so much fun. They all really are the pinnacle of powerboating, and it's such an achievement when they do run right that in itself gives me the hope to continue. Yeah.
After a busy day making repairs, all 7 teams are fit and ready for the start of round 6, although it's still fingers crossed here at Cougar Eurocool. Make sure you join us after the break.
Very good.
Welcome back to round 6 of the Pro V Offshore European Cup, where the teams face a 75-mile course round the island. I guess I know who you're going to be rooting for.
Of course, my boys Chris and Tony in the yellow boat. They won both races here last year and they set a Pro V record, so I reckon it's a done deal.
The competition's much stiffer this year. Those two boats from Arundel are going very well indeed, and you can never discount the Italians.
No, that's true. You can never discount the weather either, because I remember racing here last year that it is pretty unpredictable.
It can be very nasty around the needles, they say.
That's for sure.
So let's take a closer look at that course with race commentator Eric Michel.
Through the start chute and out into the Solent, then a slight left turn at Westley and down towards the mark known as Sconce. At the famous Needles Lighthouse, the boats turn southeast through sometimes some very confused waters, past St Catherine's Lighthouse on the southernmost tip, then around past No Man's Land Port and up towards Cowes Harbour once more. Through the start chute and into two small clockwise laps which complete the course of some 66 nautical miles at the Royal Yacht Squadron line. Conditions today almost perfect for setting a new round the island record, which is what all the Pro V teams have in mind. Certainly the front runners will be going for that. Unofficially set last year by Tony Dowley in the yellow Thunderbird boat. But look at the troubles and problems here at the start. A huge yacht sailing right through the middle of the start pack. The start boat has released them already. It's not an easy day out there.
We all right for boats? I can't yet.
Speed building, Dowley asking Peters for reassurance.
They're all in the fucking course, aren't they?
Very worried about the amount of boats out here in front of Cowes Harbour, but the fact is our race leader is number 66 Italian Mario Invernizzi. With his driver Carpitella, they set a scorching pace here as they head out towards Westley.
Fucking hell, whatever's Mario running at? I don't know, we're running 87.5 knots. We're running 100 to 101, Tony.
101 miles an hour then, and in front of them are the attacking Vikings in second place and Mario Invernizzi with Giovanni Carpitella in first.
It's a big boat in front of us making a lot of waves. I'll tell you when.
Yeah, okay.
Do you see it on our left now?
Yeah, I have him. You have the wake. It's not yet. Anybody else will hit it first.
Oh, it's hitting it now. Okay.
Kurt Arger Olsen and Simon Fletcher seem well settled, the new pairing in Thunderstorm. This is our second place boat, attacking Vikings. The view from them as we look back towards the rest of the pack, coming up into the Needles section of the racecourse where the boats will turn southeast. And here they are at the Needles turn. This is the most westerly part of the racecourse, and Norwegian Rune Hogevold turns number 11 around the mark at the Needles. Mario Invernizzi, our race leader, just in the distance. We look back and see the Needles turn flash past at speeds over 100 miles an hour. The water's very calm here today, definitely record-setting weather. Defending champions Thunderbird come down towards the Needles.
Kurt, yes, some problem. Okay. Should we slow down?
Feels like something pretty bad.
Okay.
Nothing I can do. The engine's stopped all by itself.
Simon Fletcher, Kurt Arger Olsen out of the race. What a frustration for them after doing so well here in the Solent race.
I will try to keep some pressure running, but no. We're dead.
Dead and out of the race, which means Miles Jennings and Neil Holmes in number 4 in Eurocall move up one position as they too now pass the Needles and head down towards St Catherine's Point. Sixth place for Eurocall. Things are looking much better for this team and more speed. Carsten Nicholson, the throttle man, on board Spirit of Arundel, concentrating very hard. He's looking in his mirrors, and the reasons why Hog V, fellow countrymen, are very close behind. Still in the lead, Mario Invernizzi, Giovanni Carpitella, Ceramica Panari, the boat number 66, the Italian Butzi Hull, setting this fantastic speed in almost ideal race conditions. Past St Catherine's Lighthouse on the southernmost tip goes our second place boat, throttled by Swede Per Oskarsson. The attacking Vikings team doing very well here today. They're the championship leaders, and this is the defending championship team.
No. I'll jack the drive up a bit and hold the throttle back just to see if that helps do it.
Thunderbird in trouble then.
Trouble is I'm revving the bollocks out the engine that way. Stick it back down again then.
Speed some 20 miles an hour down on their performance that they need to even contest this. Our race leader as they pass No Man's Land Fort and head in a northerly direction now up towards Cowes Harbour. Second place, but there's an ominous black streak on the deck of the engine bay. They're still running at full pace, so there can't be any problems indicated on the dials and instruments inside the cockpit for Per Oskarsson. There's No Man's Land Fort disappearing into the distance as they charge very hard. Oh, that's a high jump over the wake left by the hovercraft.
What do you think the problem is? Hey? You got the tabs are up, aren't they?
Thunderbird still struggling with problems, the speed dropping, and that's Hog V in the distance.
We're running slower now than we were when we started. Yeah.
Chris Peters and Tony Darley wrestling with huge problems on Thunderbird and trying to maintain race position and race speed. Through the chute and over the start line, a fantastic performance for Mario Invernizzi, and according to my watch, they could well have broken the Round Island lap record.
Come on. Come on, show me the bunny.
Spirit of Arundel driver Bjorn Magnusson urging more performance out of their boat as they head up to the start-finish line at the Royal Yacht Squadron and into the final 2 laps. Number 11, second place boat, Rune Hogevall doing the driving, Per Oskarsson doing the throttle as they too cross the line.
What's going on? There's a funny, what's that noise? Is that air? I don't know. Well, I can hear the engine and everything.
Huge problems, massive problems for Mario Invernizzi. The boat has stopped and it looks like the engine cover's off. Mario Invernizzi, Giovanni Carpatella, our race leaders, are out. The engine's still running, but a major problem for them as the boat has stopped. The engine canopy disappeared. Number 11 up into first place now. Our new race leaders, here they are, out into the Solent on the first of the 2 short laps they have to make to complete the race.
It's not your air going off, is it? No. Like I can hear the engine as if it's in my head. Yeah, I know. I think the canopy's come off. What's come off? The canopy. Where? The engine hatch. No, it's still there. And then... Where? The scoops aren't there.
Darley and Peters fighting to stay in second place.
Yeah, the air intakes are. Are they? Yeah.
And our race leaders, our new race leaders, have stopped. Rune Hogevall, Per Oskarsson down at the back of the boat, looking down into the engine bay. Hogevall on the bow. And this is a major disaster for our championship leaders. That ominous black trail out of the back of the boat. I think we can see the problems now. It looks like a pump hose has come off, filling the back of the boat. New race leaders now then. For the 3rd time in the race, we have new race leaders.
Yeah, come on, baby, give me some power. Oh, yeah, oh, I felt that. Oh, oh, goody. Hee-haw.
Magnussen and Mickelson clearly enjoying the lead that they've just acquired, but we've got a problem building again because Thunderbird have drifted way off the race course. This is the turn at East Leap. Hog V are on the right and taking the correct course, and you can see the wake of Thunderbird on our left. They've totally missed the turn, taking a long arcing line out towards the south coast of England when they should be turning back towards Cowes.
What's all that noise? I don't know. Unless we've lost the tailpipe or something. That's possible.
Things going badly wrong for Thunderbird. They're way off course, and Hog V has made the mistake of following them.
I think we must have lost something on the exhaust. Yeah, it's what it sounds like. The canopy's filling up. Well, now there you can see it steaming up. Try putting the bilge on, Tony. I have.
Well, Chris Peters has managed to navigate his way back onto the correct course and towards the mark at northeast Gurnard, but they really are dealing with some big problems keeping this boat going. And he's heading towards the Gurnard turn, and that's very close to a yacht that's drifted on course. And right at the turn at northeast Gurnard, it looks very much to me as if Thunderbird has come into collision with a yacht out on the course. Hog V cuts across the back and continues on, but Thunderbird has stopped. The bow of the yacht smashed clean open. Something has gone badly wrong here at Cowes for this 2nd race here, the Round Island race for the Pro V European Cup. Meanwhile, Per Karsten Mickelson, Bjorn Magnusson from Norway, Spirit of Arundel, crosses the line and takes a major and significant victory for the team. It's a long time since they have had this success, and a remarkable performance for Hog V coming in 2nd place. Glenn Osby, Tommy Stensrud will earn every point that they accrue as a result of this 2nd place. But for the Thunderbird team, it's been one awful day.
No, I mean, basically, just Chris passed out from the carbon monoxide in the canopy. But it's not unusual to get some fumes in there, but it's obviously crept up on you, and, you know, we didn't want to stop because we knew the boat was probably taking in some water, because the nature of the problem means if we were getting exhaust fumes, we're getting water probably coming into the boat. Of course, the minute we stopped, the the boat started to sink, so we had to get Chris out.
In the start of the first lap in the Solent, and the usually pleasure boat, fly boat is moving in front of me, and the big waves, and the boat is turned completely in the fly, and is arrived in the water, fortunately in correct position, but for the point and for the result, the final result is no good.
It was a lousy start because I don't think anybody really understood that there was a start going on, because I think the start boat didn't do the procedure.
One of the criticisms of this race has come more and more, the problems with spectator traffic and spectator boats. In reality, how difficult was it for you to win this race?
It was really difficult because you never know what course you can take. If you go by the compass or where you want to go, if you see the mark, you have to direct your course around the sailboats between them, and it's really difficult that it's so many. But I think it is not good enough security as we are used to.
But Spirit of Arendal do take 20 championship points and psychologically a huge boost in their quest for the championship. And with news that no one was hurt in the accident involving Thunderbird, Chris Peters is responding well to medical care. Let's have a look at the points. 20 championship points for Spirit of Arendal, 15 superb points for Hog V, 12 to Thunderbird for their third place, and 9 to Ceramica Panario. Every point important to the teams that are fighting for the lead. But for Attacking Vikings, who defend that position, they are discounted for points for missing a mark on the easternmost side of the island. Consolation for Mario Invernizzi. Carpitella looks as if he's suffered a bit of injury in the race. Confirmation of their Round Island record. Spirit of Arendal now take the lead in the championship, pushing Attacking Vikings back into second, Thunderbird in third, and Ceramica Panaria on 63 in fourth. Hog V on fifth are ahead of Escape and Thunderstorm. Norwegian Thunder still on 5 points, and Eurocall sadly still with a big 0 there.
With the Carnage of Cows handing an unexpected double to the Spirit of Arendal, and Thunderbird and Ceramica Panaria both grateful for the 70% rule, 4 boats head to Portsmouth with a title within their grasp. Join us there.